What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. You know, I was watching the game yesterday. I was watching the Super Bowl, and something jumped out to me as I'm watching the Super Bowl. And something that just was even made more clear as I'm watching the Super Bowl and as the Super Bowl ends, and I'm like, what could the Texans do to be here? What could we be doing to get to this situation next year? What could we do so we can enjoy, as fans, so we can enjoy a moment like Kansas City fans were enjoying last night and today? What could we do? And something, like I said, jumped out clearly, that the Texans have to fix this defense. They have to fix this defense. And from a personnel standpoint, because you already know how I feel offensively, what the problem is and what they need to do offensively. But we know that's not going to happen no time soon, because at the very least, somebody's not checking their ego at the door. If they can check their ego at the door, we could have a whole different conversation offensively, and we'd be doing a whole bunch of stuff. But defensively, that's something that should be fixed, that can be fixed, and could put us in a better situation, because what you seen last night in Kansas City is what you're going to have to compete with to get to the Super Bowl, let alone beat at least the 49ers and have to play them in the Super Bowl. That's what you have to get to. That's who you have to beat to get to that game. You got to go through either Kansas City or Baltimore, if not both. It's going to be very unlikely that you have to see neither in the playoffs. It's very unlikely that you make it to the Super Bowl and see neither. If you make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC, you have to see one of those two teams, if not both of those teams. So what can you do? Because the Texans, the last two times we've seen both these teams, wasn't competitive. What could they do? So, because I said this maybe like week 4, week 5, that the 49ers had the best defense in the NFL. I was saying that since then. And then it was even more clear when they played the Ravens, and I watched how they defended Lamar Jackson. I'm like, that's the best defense in the NFL. So I was very intrigued, and I told my cousin before he came to the crib, we barbecued yesterday, that I felt this game is going to be a very, very good game because of the strength on strength between the 49ers defense and the Kansas City offense. And I couldn't wait to see this matchup. And for the most part, I enjoyed the matchup. And the 49ers was able to hold Kansas City all the way to the 6-minute mark to 10 points. Now, I know after that, Kansas City exploded. And I said this when we played Kansas City, that Pat Mahomes is like Steph Curry and the Chiefs of Golden State. The KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Golden State. That once they get hot, no lead is safe. Once Pat threw that 44-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, everything was wide open. He was like a shooter that couldn't miss from 3. He was like Curry, got hot, and he was virtually unstoppable. It happened against us, happened against the Titans. We seen this as Texas fans firsthand. Once they start getting hot, you can't cool them off, and you don't want to run into a track meet like that. Your thing is that you got to stomp on them early, which the 49ers did do. They were able to hold him and bottom up early and confuse him and do some things defensively. Made Patrick Mahomes, for the first 2.5, 3 quarters, play very, very subpar football. But he got hot at the end. And the thing is that the 49ers couldn't counter because they don't have that offense. I like Shanahan. I know people might want to talk about the way Shanahan called towards the end of the game. But at the end of the day, Jimmy G's just not. That's one reason why I never believed in the 49ers. That's why I thought they would probably lose in the playoffs, because I just don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. But I feel if you take the Texans offense and put them in that situation, that 20-10 situation, in the fourth quarter, the Texans win Super Bowl. And notice I say the offense, and what I mean by that, I'm talking about personnel: DeShaun, Hop, Fuller, Stills, Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, even the offensive line. Put that situation with everything else with the San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers defense, and Shanahan, they coach, their whole coaching staff, everything, all that staying the same. The only thing you changing is the name on the team and the offense. I think the Texans win their Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think offensively they can get it done. Now, I know some talks today about who's the next to challenge Patrick Mahomes and who's next in line. They were talking about DeShaun and Lamar Jackson, and they brought up the situation against Kansas City early in the playoffs. Cause I know some of y'all probably sitting in the comment section right now talking about the Texans were up 24-0 and they let it slip. Because that's what they were saying on ESPN, talking about they was up by 24-0, and I know they talk about that. I kind of don't even believe DeShaun no more because like you were up 24-0, and I understand Kansas City scoring, but do something like counter. What was your offense? I'm taken aback by that. I'm taken aback by that. Listen, I want to put some things in perspective that people are not paying attention to when it comes to that playoff game, because DeShaun Watson had the ball up 21-0 in enemy territory, driving the score. Bill O'Brien calls a timeout. They run play to Duke, get stopped a yard short, inches short of the first down. Kind of thought they got a first down. They called another timeout, kind of confused, don't know what's going on, and then end up kicking the field goal. Those timeouts are key. Remember that. So they go from being up 21-0 to up 24-0. Ensuing kickoff, Hartman runs the ball back to like the 40-something, inside the 40. Chiefs score a touchdown. Texans are up 24-7. Texans get the ball, 3 and out. Then it's the whole fake punt, gets snuffed out. Kansas City gets the ball inside the 30, score a touchdown. Then DeAndre Carter fumbles on the kickoff. Chiefs get the ball back, score a touchdown. Now DeShaun Watson finally gets the ball. He goes from being up 24-0 to only up 24-21. Just that quick. Just that quick. And the last time he touched the ball, he was up 24-7. So he goes from being up 24-7 to only being up 24-21. They get stopped. Kansas City gets the ball, scores a touchdown. Now Kansas City's up 28-24. DeShaun gets the ball back right before halftime, drives the length of the field, and because of the timeout situations, they have to rush for a field goal. I think it was a 54-yard field goal attempt that Fairbury misses. Now, that's why the timeouts is crucial, because they didn't get stopped. It wasn't like the drive stalled out and then they had to call, and then they end up having to kick a field goal. They were racing against the clock because it's about to be halftime. So you have to get what you can get. So they had to hurry up and run for a field goal. If they had at least one of those timeouts, not to mention if they had both of those timeouts that were squandered in an earlier position unnecessarily, especially the last one, DeShaun could either drove for a closer field goal attempt or could even put himself in position to get a touchdown. Chiefs get the ball back after halftime first, score a touchdown, they miss the extra point. So DeShaun goes from being up 24-7 to being down 34-24 and only had 2 offensive possessions in that time span. He goes from being up 24-7 to being down 34-24, only having the ball twice. From up 17 to down 10, a 27-point swing. Like that. He only touched the ball twice. And in one of the situations, he drove downfield to put his team in a scoring opportunity. That's not on the offense. That's on the defense for not holding up. And that's also on the coaching. Because some of those squanders are the coaching fault. Not going for it on fourth down, calling those timeouts, not saving the timeouts for you to even get that field goal in. But it's not on the offense. It's not on the personnel. That's on coaching and the defense. More so defense for letting up the points, but you also got for coaching for putting defense in a bad position with the fake field goal, the fake punt, and also the timeout situations as well. That's not on the offense. It's on the defense and on the coaching. But yet, DeShaun gets a black mark on him. DeShaun gets the ball, he doesn't score, then the Chiefs end up scoring another touchdown, making it 41, and then that's when DeShaun scores a touchdown to get the 34 points, and then you allow Kansas City to get hot. I think if you put that offense in the same situation last night that happened in the Super Bowl, I think they run that ship home with that type of defense. With the defense that San Fran got, DeShaun pulls it off, and he's a Super Bowl champion today. He's a Super Bowl MVP right now if he had the defense. So now you have to do something defensively. You have to do something via free agency. I know it's talks about Roby might be leaving. It's talks about I'm kind of iffy on if they're gonna sign Rita. I don't know. I don't really see them paying Rita. I want us to keep Rita, but knowing this organization the way I know this organization, like I would not be surprised at all if both Rita and Roby leave. Um, Also do something via the draft. And you don't have premium picks. You got picks. I think they're gonna have either 7 or 8 picks, but no first round picks. Like you don't have any picks in the premium spots as of right now, unless you do any moving up. So what are they going to do to fix this defense? Because you have to fix this defense to even get yourself into this conversation. You do. I know some moves that can be made with Fulton and with Hargraves to get cut, and I think because I think we're at 55 million, and I think if you cut Hargraves, that gives you 10. If you cut Fulton, that gives you 7. So that's 17 million. It even talks about cutting Fuller. I think that's asinine. Like you cannot up here. Like I just got to talking about ain't nothing wrong personnel wise with the offense. There's no way that you can legitimately explain to me if you cut Fuller, the offense is gonna get better. If anything, the offense is gonna get worse. Like you can't, like you just can't like duplicate his production. The guys out here running well 4-3-2. Like he's out here running 4. Like they not just going off on trees. I can care less about him playing not every game. I'd rather have him for 10 games than not have him at all. Like if you cut him, he gone for all 16. If he's good for 10, if he's good for 10 games at the regular season and good in the postseason, that's all you need. You don't have to have him all 16 games. Would you prefer to have him all 16 games? Absolutely. But if he's good for at least 10 of the regular season games and all the postseason, I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Like that. That's just like, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense because Fuller, the way Fuller plays, opens up Hopkins and opens up Kenny Stills, and we don't use another thing. We don't even use our offense the way we're supposed to. So you can't simply, we're gonna take one of our offensive weapons away, and we're gonna expect the offense to get better. In what world does that make any sense? Now it's different if you're talking about Kubiak offense or Kyle Shanahan offense or Andy Reid led offense, Sean McVay led offense, Doug Peterson led offense, even Frank Bush led off. If you talk about any of these other offensive minds out here that actually have stables and actually have done stuff in the NFL, have won championships or got the championship level games, okay, cool. When these guys actually cutting their teeth, actually making big progress offensively, if they the ones calling plays and doing stuff, then yeah, okay, then you can kind of justify, okay, well maybe if we can get better on defense, if we give up one of our offensive pieces, but you're talking about a guy who's had all these pieces, and I already told you on the last 2 videos how the offense is getting worse. Never the top 10 offense, but you're gonna take away one of the pieces that make it the piece that makes it the most dynamic. I mean, I know DeShaun's the most important piece, and Hopkins is the most reliable piece, but Fuller is the piece that makes it the most dynamic. You take away Fuller, this offense is no longer dynamic. Stills is fast. He's not Fuller fast. And we don't use him the way that they used him in Miami. We don't use Duke the way they used him in Cleveland. So if you take away Fuller, this offense is going to get worse. There's no way to gloss over that. Until you give me better offensive coaching, there's no way that you can tell me this offense is going to get better if you get rid of Fuller. So that doesn't justify the means. $10 million in cap space, it doesn't justify it right now. It just doesn't. The way this team is set up, it doesn't justify it. I'm sorry. There's really no way, unless you give me another offensive talent, or people talking about we could just bring in somebody else to do it. Who else you gonna bring in? I just told you what our draft pick situation is. Yes, we had draft picks, but they're not premium picks. You can't be wasting no picks on a receiver who may or may not pan out. Like you could draft a receiver who is quote unquote as fast from a 40 time standpoint, but don't run routes good enough, so his speed doesn't show up. Like James Strong, and I like James Strong a lot. I actually wish that James Strong got a chance to play with DeShaun. James Strong had track speed, but he's not a good route runner. I mean, not track speed, but he was faster than Hopkins and faster than a couple guys from a track standpoint on his 40 time, but his route running wasn't as crisp. So he didn't show that speed in a game because he wasn't running his routes right. So you can get a guy, or you can get a guy who can even catch even worse than Fuller. Fuller's hands has improved. Yeah, he has the games here and there, like the Kansas City game in the regular season. But for the most part, under DeShaun, those drop issues is not as prevalent as they was his rookie year with Oswald. And I think it was a Will Fuller issue, but also had an issue with who's throwing the football as well. Because remember, Brock Osweiler made Hopkins look inept as well. So you can't you can really miss me with that one. It has to be, what do they do with the cap space that they have? Like I say, get rid of Hargraves, get rid of Zach Fulton. That saves you 17. It saves you 17 cap space, so it goes from 55 to what 70, 72. Yeah, it goes up to 72. So it gives you 72 in cap space, and that you can do some stuff like that. I mean, I know you're talking about you got to pay Watson, you got to pay Tunsil. You can bring back Roby. You may be able to try to find, maybe you may be able to go out and get a Trey Waynes as well to help bulk up their defense. Cause I think you would need Roby and another corner, in my personal opinion. You need Roby and another corner to pair up with Garyon Conley. You're gonna need somebody else to play in that slot or play outside, to be honest. Because I think what you should do is you get another corner to play outside, and you have Conley, the other corner to play outside, and you have Roby playing the slot. That's what I would do. That's just me. What you can do with making some of these money moves, but you have to fix this defense. And we already know the situation is offensively. I think they need to go out and get some type of offensive consultant, because obviously we know Bill O'Brien, he's general manager now, he ain't leaving. But his ego does need to be checked there, though. If you want to let Tim Kelly call plays, I prefer not. I prefer they go out and get a legitimate offensive coordinator. But at the very least, what they need to do is go somewhere, get a consultant, bring somebody in, and create an offense. Come in, create an offense together, build the offense around DeShaun. And that's all you need to do offensively. You step back, Bill O'Brien. You let Tim Kelly and this other dude create this offense. Let them do what they do offensively. You be the general manager and the head coach and fix this defense. The offense gonna fix itself if you let that machine run its own thing. Go out there and fix that defense, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to slow down Kansas City. Like, you have to put them in a situation where that score is under 20. The score is under 30 points. You cannot allow them to get 31 points on you. Even though I think offensively you can pack punches, but you have to put yourself in defense. Your defense has to be in a situation that even when you score, you can make a stop. You have to be able to make a stop. You have to fix his defense. There's just no way. There's no other way to think about it. You have to find a way to slow down this offense. You're not going to stop this offense. The best defense in the NFL just showed you this last night. You cannot stop this offense. You can slow them down enough. The 49ers did exactly what they had to do to win the game. They slowed them down just enough. They just didn't have the offensive horses to finish it off. The Texans do. The Texans have the quarterback. They have the receiver. Now, they don't have the same run game, and they don't have the same exact run style that the 49ers have. That's a little bit different. But they do have a quarterback and a receiver who can close the deal if you give them close enough. And don't get me, y'all were up 24-0. We were up 24-0, but we was in Kansas City. Once that crowd started getting into it, it was over. Once they started getting hot, and like I said, DeShaun went from being up 17, down 10, and only touched the ball twice. And in one of those situations, he drove them down. They kicked the field goal before the half ended, and the field goal was missed. So if he had a better defense that can get some stops, to slow that offense down just enough, DeShaun might have been able to pull it off in Kansas. He might have been able to pull it off in Kansas City if he had that type of defensive performance that we just seen in Miami last night. He would have been able to pull it off. That's what you have to get to. You have to get to that type of defense. Something that the 49ers built in 3 years. They were just tanking a couple years ago. John Lynch And Kyle Shanahan built that defense, finessed Chicago into jumping up the draft Trubisky, and fixed their defense in 3 years and made a Super Bowl product. Bill O'Brien, you want the general manager job. You want this power struggle. You was able to mob off Rick Smith. You was able to mob off Brian Gaines over the stiff arm and like, nah, Nick Casario, you ain't coming. You ain't coming. You able to hit the Heisman on that hoe. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. The blueprint is in San Fran. They did it in 3 years. You've been here for 6. Now you got control. You got control for 1 year, so this is gonna be your second year in control. You have a way better quarterback than they do. Show me what you got. Show it. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I holla.